Review the Light. Today we're going to be taking a look at the FandyFire YL-3 Warrior, but really quick before we get into it, if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking this link right up here to keep up to date on the latest videos. Follow me on Facebook to keep up to track with the rest of everything I'm into, and be sure to check out the link to the full review, which I'll put down in the description once the full review is complete. That contains the runtime infographs, the various charts, the spectral analyzation, and all the other great stuff. So all the details are there. So the FandyFire is a brand that I'm not extremely familiar with. I haven't actually been in contact with someone from FandyFire. This review sample was provided by Airsoftpeak.com's website. So I don't know a lot about the FandyFire brand, and unfortunately the light itself came with a instruction manual that is not in English, so I'm not able to really make a lot out of it. So the user interface of the light is a little bit complicated, but I'll do my best. I think I've figured it out for the most part. And if I miss anything, I apologize. So the accessories it comes with are this spare O-ring and a little lanyard, like I said, the user manual, and then it just comes packaged in this little piece of foam here with a packing slip at the bottom, and that's it. And of course the light itself. So when we take a look at it, it's a pretty large light. It runs off of 3 18650 batteries. The Airsoftpeak's website claimed 3100 lumens, which would be pretty ambitious from a brand that isn't one of the top of the line brands. I was expecting it to hit a little bit lower than that, and of course it did. You can see exactly how it performed in the full review. But just taking a look at it here now, you'll notice the lens is cracked. It didn't come like that. I accidentally dropped the lens as I was opening it up to examine the insides of it, so I apologize for the cracked lens in the video. I know that's not fun to look at, but it didn't come like that. That's my mistake. So as you're looking in there, you can see it's powered by 3 XML2 emitters. I believe those are XML2. Let me get a closer look. No, I'm sorry, those are just XML emitters, not the XML2s. Like I said, the manual wasn't in my language, so I had to look for myself. But you can see they each have their own portion of this reflector. They only share a tiny bit. So each of their individual reflectors, even though the head is pretty large, each individual reflector portion in there is fairly small. So this is much more of a floody light than a throwy light. You can see it's got these little grooves in the head, which provides some pretty good grip, along with just some good looks, and a little bit of knurling here on the body, so you can untwist it. Space to attach the lanyard, and a flat tail cap, so it does a really good stable tail stand. Here's the switch mechanism. So the light's controlled by these two switches here, the big switch and the little switch. This has got a power symbol on it, if you can see that, and this one has like a little lightning bolt. And I will show you what they do. There's also these 4 little lights which seem to indicate the battery level. So whenever I like when you're installing the batteries, and yeah, you see they do a little blink when you tighten it up. There's like a little startup sequence. So before we take a look at the interface, we'll open it up and look inside. You can see in the head here has this ring where the 3 batteries make contact. The 3 batteries are sit into grooves cut into the solid body of the light. So you're going to need at least a little bit of a raised top, even if not in a button top, a little bit of a raised top on your batteries to make connection with this ring here. Otherwise, they might not be able to hit the metal portion. The batteries sit, like I said, into these cuts, into these slots in the body. You can see the springs down there at the base. This all seems to be pretty good build quality. The threads are anodized and appear to be square cut, very small. They have really smooth action, so I've been impressed with the build quality from this brand. So we will now look at its user interface, which, like I said, is a little bit complicated. So when you hold down the switch on the right, it goes directly to the momentary on at its preset high, and you can see it's pretty bright, and there's a few beam artifacts up close just due to the fact from those 3 separate emitters. They all sort of even out as you back farther away. It looks like this is a single beam, and so it's pretty good about turning on to that momentary on as soon as you press that switch. It takes about a half a second to turn back off after you release. Now it does kind of get a little bit of lag if you're pushing a lot of buttons quickly. Then it can miss the cue to go to the momentary on, so this is something to be aware of. But for the most part, I've had good success with it, just going straight to the momentary on as soon as I press it. Next, if I press, just single click this, or multiple click it there, and sometimes a multiple click will fool it. What it is to turn this on with the big switch, with the power symbol on it, is you hold down on it for about a second and then it'll turn on. And then sometimes multiple clicks fool it into thinking it's been held down. But here it is. It's got 3 sort of modes, I guess, or settings. It comes on in this preset low mode, which you can tell is actually pretty bright. Another click takes it. Oh, it looks like I was in the preset high mode. It's because now I'm in the SOS. So it's got preset low, preset high, and this SOS mode that you get just by clicking. You turn it on by holding that switch, and then you cycle through those 3 settings by a single click. We've got preset low, preset high, and the strobe, or the SOS. So the strobe is available if once I've got it on, by double clicking the mode with the little button with the lightning bolt on it, I get the strobe. And then a single click takes me back to regular. Also, from the preset low mode, if I hold down on the right button with the lightning bolt, it starts cycling through. It starts ramping up the brightness up and down. It's got an infinitely variable between some minimum and maximum, and you can see the measurements I'll take for what those minimum and maximum values are. And then whenever I release it, it'll just stop there, and that's the output that I have. So if it looks kind of funky on your screen right now, it's because of the pulse width modulation. It doesn't actually look like that in real life. But I can change that preset low mode to be whatever output I want, and then that'll be remembered as I cycle through. So here I'm back to that output that I chose. And again, that's just successful when you get to the preset low by holding down on the small button there. And then I can turn it back off again by holding the big switch. So that's the function of the FandyFire YL-3 Warrior, and you stick around for just a second and we will take it out and give it a shot in the dark. Alright, here we've got the FandyFire YL-3 Warrior here in the backyard. We'll go ahead and fire it up and take a look. Actually, before I turn it on, see if we can get a good view of the little yellow lights there. You can see them flash when I loosen and then retighten. That's kind of fun, a little flash when it starts up. Okay, so I am first demonstrating the momentary function. So just by I'm just holding down on the smaller of the switches for the momentary function. Then as soon as I release, it turns off. You can see there's a little bit of a delay at sometimes, but not too much of one. It tends to turn on pretty quickly, and then there's just a fraction of a second delay to turn back off when I release. But the momentary activation works pretty well here. I find if you try and click it a lot, it gets a little bit confused, but yeah, so it's a little confused there. So in general, don't go crazy with it, but it works pretty well. So holding down on the main switch, the larger of the switches on the left, here I am in the preset low mode, and waving it around a little bit there. From here, if I double click the switch on the right, I'm in the strobe mode. Double click it again and I'm back to the preset low. And you can see even on the preset low, this is a lot of light. So there's a shot of the ground, a little pathway over there, up in the tree. Even on the preset low, I can see whatever I want in that tree up there. And then we'll shift by holding the main switch. Oops, that turned it off. Holding the main switch again, I apologize. The manual in Chinese made this fairly difficult, but okay. Pressing the main switch once takes me up to the preset maximum here, or the preset high, and you can see there's not a ton of difference at this range. At slightly longer ranges, you can tell a little bit better. Clicking it once again here, I'm at the SOS mode. So again, if I just click through those, I've got the preset low, the preset high, and then the SOS. And it also looks like we have a spider working on making its web right through there, so you might be able to see the glimmer of a strand right there if you look closely. So that's kind of fun. But anyway, I'll take you up to this tree to see a little better. That's the shift from the preset low to the preset high. The SOS again. There's the preset low. There's the preset high. So at longer ranges you can tell a little bit better that there is a significant difference. That's a little bit of what the beam looks like, if you can see that there, depending on your brightness, and also you can tell the lights lighting up indicating my battery level there. I'm assuming that's what they do. They tend to go down as the battery gets lower. So here we are back at the preset low, and this is the one that adjusts with the infinitely variable ramping. So I'm going to go ahead and hold down on the smaller switch on the right, and you can tell I'm getting brighter and dimmer. So it does get dimmer than the preset low. It's a little bit hard to hit there. So here I'm a little bit lower than the preset low. According to my measurements, the absolute lowest you can get if you time it just right is about 58 lumens versus the preset low I think was around 160, 170. You can check the full review to be sure on the numbers exactly. But you can get lower than the preset low, and here you can see that. Here I got a pretty good low that time. It is a little bit difficult, but you can do it. And then the preset high does, or excuse me, the maximum on here does go higher than the preset high, so I'll let it ramp a couple times and get the timing of it. Let's see if I can do it. Might have done it here. Let's see if this should get dimmer here when I switch to the preset high. Nope, didn't get it. Anyway, it's possible. I won't waste your time right now. And you can check out all the details of the ramping and everything in the full review. So this is, again, the FandyFire YL-3 Warrior. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit this link right over here to follow me on Facebook, this one to follow me on YouTube. And like I said, all the details will be in a link in the full review below. So thanks, and have a great night.